everyone, it's Kamila. I hope you're all having a great day. If you're new here on the channel, we mostly do speed builds, and today we are building kind of a small cyberpunk city. I guess I could call it like that. And it's my last build concentrated more on the new Journey to Batuu pack. And I'm not really sure if I can call it new still. I guess so because it's only been 10 days since it's been out. But on another hand, this pack isn't really like the others in the sense that there wasn't any hype. And normally when a new pack comes out, everyone does videos with it. But this time it was really different, which I totally get because I wasn't really excited at all when I heard or learned that this pack was the new one that we're gonna get. Yeah, in the end, I had fun trying to build with it, but I would prefer to have something else, to be 100% honest. But yeah, I guess what I wanted to say was that it feels really different compared to other packs announcement and everything. So yeah, it just doesn't feel new anymore, and even 2 days after, people were kind of over it, I guess. So that's really weird. But why I wanted to do this build is because it's kind of inspired by my writings, like one of my last builds that I did not so long ago, the space station commune, which by the way received a very good response, and I was really happy with all the feedback that I received. And I'm always really grateful when my videos are doing great like that. So I really wanted to say thank you. But yeah, this build is a little bit inspired by my writings too. And I gotta admit that the more I was working on it, the less it was looking like what I imagined for my writings. But it's because we don't really have everything that I would want to in The Sims. So it was really hard to make it really accurate, I guess I could say it like that. So it's not 100% the vision that I had in mind, and some things have changed. So in my imagination, it's more rundown than that. So you will see later on that the buildings at the back are pretty, I wouldn't say rich, but they're more great looking, I guess, than the buildings at the front. So you will see there's a big clash between them. And yeah, in my writings, there's no big buildings and tall buildings like that necessarily, so it's pretty different. But I thought it just looked great in The Sims, so that's what is kind of weird. But other than that, I did include all the shops that I need kind of in order to play with this universe in The Sims, and also these two roads that are connected to each other, So in the end, I'm pretty happy with the result, even if it's not accurate as I said. But I will probably do like other builds similar to this, other cities kind of in the future. Not soon because it was really long, and I gotta say I'm kind of looking forward to do another build because I've been working on it since the last Saturday, so it's been a week trying to do this build and also the editing and everything. This build took very long. I really wanted it to be in Oasis Springs, but you don't have any 64x64 in the base game, so it was a little bit tricky to do a city on a 50x50, and I really wanted to have some mountains and terrain tool use, so it kind of made it really hard for myself. So I wish I could have placed more stuff behind and maybe like debug towers to make it look even more lived in, I guess, but I couldn't. So maybe you can do that and place this lot on a 64x64, or maybe you don't really mind if the debug towers are kind of floating a little, because when I tried to place some, I was able to, because if you hold Alt, I think, yeah, you're able to place the objects everywhere that you want. But the problem was that since there's a little small mountain at the back of the build, the towers were floating a little, so it was weird. So I decided to not place them, but if it doesn't bother you, you can do that. And these debug towers are from City Living, so if you have the pack, it's pretty easy to find them. I have all the cheats that I use in order to find debug items in the description always. So yeah, it should be easy for you to change this build a little if you want to play with it. I don't know if some people will download it because normally builds like that aren't really popular on the gallery. But anyway, I just wanted to say that at the beginning in order to, make it clear a little how it is, this build. I looked it up and I had 7 hours of footage, and I think I worked on this build like for 2 hours or 3 hours off cam because I wanted to, change all the colors of the lights, since you can't do that in build mode, which sucks a little, to be honest. But yeah, I worked on it a lot of cam, so I guess I probably spent 10 hours on this build. It was really long, but it was fun to try something else. So what I did for it is that I did some decorative buildings, but I didn't want to use only debug towers, so they're all like made by myself, and I really wanted it to be kind of original, and I wanted them to have different colors and everything. So I did 5 buildings that are purely decorative, so I didn't furnish them, but all the other shops that are at the front, so you have 2 roads and then you have kind of 3 alleys of shops, well, these are all fully furnished. So we have a karaoke bar, a cafe, a robot shop, because I wanted to implement the Journey to Batuu pack. I was going to say Star Wars, but I also did a pawn shop, a cinema, an arcade room, and also there's an underground parking, so you will see that later on. It's a little weird the way I did it, but I think it fits and I think it's cool. And in the underground parking there's also toilet, so you have everything you need. And I thought I could use like some elevators to access some of the buildings or towers. I thought you could access them from underground where there's the parking and toilets, but it didn't really work. You had to place only one. I don't really understand how it works. But anyway, I thought that if I didn't really furnish them, it wasn't really important. So I placed doors instead of the elevators like I thought I would do. And I also placed like stairs in order to make kind of like it was a place for cars to go in the underground parking. And anyway, you can't really move the cars, so I thought it didn't really matter. But yeah, it just makes it look like more realistic, and you will see how it looks later on. I worked less on the back of the build, so there's kind of some desertic plants and some pathways, but since the lot isn't really big, it's not like finished, I guess. So you have the pathways that are going to the doors of the buildings, but other than that, there is not that much there. But if you want to furnish the big buildings yourself, well, there will have doors to access them, so you don't have to worry about that. Even if I made a plan on my notebook, or in my notebook, sorry, well, it was really hard to do this build, and I had a lot of decisions to make because there isn't that much space on a 50 by 50. So I even tried once to move it to Del Sol Valley with all the buildings at the back. I thought it looked great, but not really, since I wanted it to be in the desert. So yeah, it was really hard to make this decision, and I kind of had a really hard time trying to fit everything that I wanted. So all the buildings are not sticked to the end of the lot, but almost. By the way, I'm really sorry about the length of this video. I tried my best to make it shorter, but since it's a whole city, it was a little hard. I did cut a lot of things. All the times where I was searching for items, I cut the times where I was placing the windows behind the buildings because you saw already the front, so it wasn't really important. I cut a lot of things, but since it's a really long build and also a big part of it is furnished. It was really hard and I didn't want it to be separated into videos just because it doesn't really feel right on my channel. I don't really know how to explain that. But yeah, sorry for the length. I think there is probably at least 3 minutes of screenshots, so we can say it's 35 minutes long, and there's always an outro, so you always have to count that 20 seconds are for the outro, so they're not kind of in the video, they're not really important. It's just you have to have an outro at the end of the video. And by the way, I'm really happy because I was talking about that like during summer, but I found an artist to do my outro and channel art. It's the same artist that I was talking about during the summer, but I was on the wait list and now she's starting to work on it this week. So it took really long because she's really in demand, but I can't wait to see the result. I know she's going to do something that I will love. I really love her style. So I can't wait for you guys to see it too. I'm really looking forward to it. And now I'm starting to stress a little because I'm only at 11 minutes out of almost 40 and I almost said everything that I noted in my notebook. So I don't know what I will say exactly. I will probably improvise. I really want to make this voiceover as long as I can because it's a long video. So I know that for me, I really like when there's voiceovers on speed builds. I prefer that instead of just music. Having music like at the middle of the voiceover or the video, I mean, it's cool, but I still prefer voiceovers. I really like when my favorite YouTubers are kind of rambling about the build or even their life. It doesn't really bother me if they're talking like in the whole video. I know that some people prefer music, but it's just not really my case. And yeah, I guess I prefer to do some videos that I would like to watch too. But it's really hard for me to do voiceovers that are really long, not only because English isn't my first language and I'm not bilingual at all, but also because my software and also my microphone aren't really the best. So sometimes I have to start over again and kind of redo the whole voiceover because there was technical issues, or sometimes I have to stop in the middle of it because I just don't know what to say anymore. So yeah, it takes time to do voiceovers for me and it's the hardest part of my videos. And since I have to take breaks a lot, even if I'm pausing the video, sometimes my voice isn't 100% at the same time as the things I'm talking about are going on the screen. I don't know if it makes sense. I don't think it does, but maybe you will understand what I meant. Sorry about that. But anyway, you saw the underground parking. I hope you like the way I did it. And now we're finally going into the front buildings. I guess I could say it like that. And here you will have the karaoke bar at the left. In the middle, it's the bar. And after that, you have a cafe. So that's probably my favorite shops, I guess. And the bar has 2 floors and the second floor is pretty big because I didn't give the second floor to the cafe, I gave it to the bar. And the karaoke bar has a second floor too. In almost every building, I used a lot the different light colors. So that's what I meant by spending a lot of time on the different lights and everything. I really wanted it to be kind of a cyberpunk build. I don't know if I nailed it. I never built in this style and I don't know it really well. But I really wanted it to be kind of, well, to have this feel a little. And I know it's not perfect, but it's kind of a mix of cyberpunk and the universe that I had in mind. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, because probably a lot of you didn't watch my space station commune video, well, I'm studying literature and I'm writing a lot, and I write fantasy stories and also science fiction. So I really wanted to build some things that come from my imagination with these universe that I created myself. I don't want to talk about them necessarily in details because, you know, it's pretty personal, I guess. I said it in my video of the space station. It's really easy for me to share my builds. I don't know why exactly, but it's not for my writings and all my ideas that are coming from my mind. I guess it's just more personal, like I said. And even singing, I find it really hard to sing in front of my family. Some people might think it's weird. I took a lot of singing classes, so I really like to sing, and I often did some shows and everything. But it's really hard for me to just sing in front of my parents, for example, only for fun if it's not a show. So I guess it's the same for my writings. But anyway, I just wanted to say it again because I know that some people probably didn't see the video and were probably lost when I was talking about my writings. So yeah, I really like to invent some stories, some characters, universe. And for this build, which is inspired by it, I really wanted to have the bar, the pawn shop, and I kind of needed 2 roads and also something a little bit special that you will see later on with some lights and kind of a pattern with some fences. You probably saw it in the intro. So that's the things that I really needed in this build, and also the more kind of diagonal building that is beige. I really wanted this one and it was in my plan. Other than that, I just kind of improvised. The only things that were in my plan were what I wanted, what I needed, and also the shape of everything. So there was 3 alleys, like I said, and 2 roads that are reunited, and there was this diagonal building. Other than that, I kind of went with the flow. Even if I had a lot of fun building this, I'm really looking forward to do something else, to be honest. This build was really long and it took 1 week because, as you probably know, I started university and I really have to adapt myself. Not only because it's online, so I can't really see my teachers, ask them questions directly, but also because it's my first semester. I don't know how to say that word in English because we don't say semester in French. We don't say semestre, we say session. So it's a little bit different than in my language. But yeah, it's been 2 weeks since I started university and I think it's really hard for now. As I said, I have to adapt myself, but also I just don't think the classes are really interesting. To be honest, I don't have a lot of fun and it's really theoretical courses, so I personally really like practical courses. So yeah, it's just weird for me to just learn about the language. For example, I don't really want to read 50 pages of what is the definition of the word language. For me, it's not interesting at all. So I don't know what I will do. I have to finish the courses and then I don't know what I will do because maybe I'm not at the right place. I don't really know. Where I live, you have other alternatives than just going to university. So I won't go into that necessarily, but our scholar system is the only one that has cégep. That's what we call like the school after the high school. You have primary school, high school, cégep, and then university if you want to go to university, because you can't just finish with cégep. It depends on what program you chose in the cégep. But yeah, in cégep I was studying literature and it was way more fun, to be honest. I had 3 years of that. I also studied programmation, coding. It was a lot of fun and my program has to follow, I guess, with university. So if I don't want to stay in that program, I will probably have to go back to cégep. It's really different from other countries. Even in Canada, my province, which is the province of Quebec, is the only one with cégep. So hopefully I made you learn something today. And it's crazy because what I wanted to say about a university is that I only had time to do one build during the whole week, which is very unusual for me. And I think my next one is probably going to be a simple family home in the autumnal theme. And after that, I'm going to do my 1K special. My 1K special is going to be my dream house. And since it's probably not going to be a small build, or at least it will take me a lot of time because I wanted it to be perfect. Since it's my dream house, I wanted to take a little break and do a simple, not tiny, but smaller family home. So that's what I will do first. I wanted to do that for like 2 weeks. I just really feel like it, and I've seen a lot of autumnal builds during the past weeks, so I guess I'm really inspired to do that. And the build at the left, which is kind of gray and beige, yellow a little, it's the pawn shop. And you probably noticed that while I was doing that, the building at the middle of the whole lot was different than what I'm doing right now with all these blue windows. It's because I made 3 versions of this building, which is the cinema, and I didn't really know what I wanted exactly. The first version was more rundown and it had only 1 floor, but this one has 2 floors, and I really wanted it to look kind of beautiful, I guess, because it's in the middle and it's a kind of the centerpiece of the build. So yeah, it just didn't really feel right to make it run down, so I had to change it. And I had the chance to put an arcade room at the 2nd floor, so you will see that very soon. If you're in university or already studied in university, let me know what you studied exactly if you want, of course, and if you enjoyed it. I would be really curious to know that. And it's always fun to learn to know you guys. I really like to read your comments. It's one of my favorite parts of doing YouTube, to be honest. That and building are probably what I enjoy the most. Every shop is kind of decorated in the industrial style. The only one that is more modern is the cinema at the middle, but other than that, you will see that it's pretty cohesive. Everything looks really well tied up together, I guess I could say it like that. I hope you will like them. The karaoke bar is more green and pink. I really like the colors that I chose for it. The bar is more dark with red and orange. The cafe has regular white lights, and I really like the way I decorated it. The robot shop is pretty small and simple. There's a lot of robots and it's very industrial. And the pawn shop has a lot of decorative stuff. There's a lot of stuff that don't even go together. It's kind of a place where you can sell whatever you want or exchange whatever you want for money or another object. It basically looks like a whole mess, and there's a lot of rugs, a lot of different lamps. You will see that later on, and I hope you will like it. But yeah, that's probably all I had to say for today's voiceover. I'm really sorry. I wish I had more to say, and I really tried my best to make it longer, but I just can't go and ramble about anything. It's not really the type of thing that I enjoy doing in my voiceovers. Maybe one day I will be able to. But anyway, I hope you will like the rest of the video. It would mean a lot if you liked it. This build took really long and I worked very hard on it. So please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you did. You can also follow me on social medias. All the links will be down in the description. And you can also download this build on the gallery. My ID is KamilaYtb. So thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a great day. Bye!
I need a girl that can ride for me. Wanna lock down and shine with me. Don't you know you don't have to try with me. Gonna let go, yeah. I'm gonna let go, gonna give you control, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me bring you in, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. time go slow with me. I want somebody to grow with me. Don't you know, ain't nobody stopping us. Gonna let go, yeah. I'm gonna let go, gonna give you control, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me drink you in, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me drink you in, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me drink you in, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me drink you in, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me drink you in, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me drink you in, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me drink you in, yeah. Cuando bailas, you give me everything, yeah. I like it when you let me drink you in, yeah.
Buy what I want, I don't want it. Do what I like, I don't like it. My life is a mess, screaming with boredom. I don't feel nothing when I'm buzzing. Someone adds some glamorous hurt. 'Cause when I sleep alone for insomnia, they say you have to be beaten up before you're tender enough. They say you have to bruise to feel. I chew, I don't taste it. Obsessing over dress when I split. Shoot me a blink, I'm dying from boredom. I even lie when I tell the truth. Honestly, what's the use? They say you have to be beaten up before you're tender enough. They say you have to bruise to feel. I must be made out of steel. think I'm crazy, but I know I am. Losing your patience, I already have. Don't try to change me, I'm just the way I am. Don't try to save me, cause I can't be saved. I keep falling under all this pressure, falling under ever since I met you. Baby, I'm not good, but you know better, better. I got all these voices on repeat, singing me to sleep. Better off waking me close, keep calling each other. You might think I'm slipping in too deep. This is what I need. Better off waking me close, keep calling each other friends. Calling each other friends. Don't try to please me, not sure that you can. Don't get me started, babe, cause this is the end. I keep falling under all this pressure, falling under ever since I met you. Baby, I'm not good, but you know better, better. I got all these voices on repeat, singing me to sleep. Better off waking me close, keep calling each other. You might think I'm slipping in too deep. This is what I need. Better off waking me close, keep calling each other friends. Calling us friends, calling us friends, calling us friends. Calling us friends, calling us friends. Oh, baby. Calling us friends, calling us friends, calling us friends. Calling us friends, calling us friends. I'm by myself, but never alone. I got my friends when I'm on my own. Calling us friends, calling us friends, calling us friends. I'm by myself, but never alone. I got my friends when I'm on my own. Calling us friends, calling us friends, calling us friends. I got all these voices on repeat, singing me to sleep. Better off waking me close, keep calling each other. You might think I'm slipping in too deep. This is what I need. Better off waking me close, keep calling each other friends. Calling us friends, calling us friends, calling us friends. Calling us friends, calling us friends. Oh, baby. Calling us friends, calling us friends, calling us friends. Calling us friends, calling us friends. You say all the right things when I'm hurting. You always pick me up when I am down. It's like you have a spark that leaves me burning. Yeah, you just have your ways to get me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right when I'm around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move me in a way never thought anyone could. You get me high. You're my drug when I am feeling blue. Yeah, it's all you, 'cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one. You touch me in a way that makes me shiver. Sometimes I can't believe that you are mine. Love's gonna be beyond my trigger. You kiss me in a way that gets me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right just being around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come show you, 'cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one, babe. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, you're the one, babe. Yeah, you're the one. You're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one. 'Cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one.
Like I was falling through the air. No one but myself to hold my hand. Standing in the shadows of where we have been. Sleeping with your back facing me. I know this isn't us. Baby, pull me closer, let's fall in love. Oh, I can feel my body move to every move you make. And I can feel the tension every time we're close. I know whatever happens, I will have you next to me. 'Cause tonight we have it all. 'Cause we're dancing as one. 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 We've been into places all at once. Was that what we said would come undone? Feels like our minds have been turned off.